Magnus Carlsen, the #1 ranked player in the world, is so good at chess that he wins almost all his games with complete dominance. And while sometimes it can take hours to defeat his opponents, here are some of Magnus's fastest wins, where he destroyed his opponents within moments. Starting with this game against Sergei Karyakin, an extremely strong super grandmaster who has beaten nearly everyone. But this didn't scare Magnus, and with both players having 3 minutes on the clock, Magnus quickly started the game playing his pawn to e4, which Sergei responded to with e5. And after the first few developing moves, the position quickly turns into the Roy Lopez opening, which Magnus is more than familiar with. After trading the knight and bishop, Magnus instantly develops his knight, knowing exactly what to do. Sergei then castles, making Magnus consider options for a few seconds before castling his own king. After a few more moves being played, Magnus attacks Sergei's knight, which Sergei attacks and Magnus moves back, making Sergei think for a very long time before playing his pawn to g5. A big mistake. Magnus plays his pawn to g4, attacking Sergei's bishop, and while the best move for Sergei here is to take Magnus's bishop, he retreats. Another mistake. This is the beginning of the end for Sergei, and after moving his bishop back, Magnus starts launching a huge attack, quickly bringing his pieces closer and closer to Sergei's wide-open king. After Sergei moves his knight to e6, Magnus takes the open file, planning to use it to attack Sergei's king. Sergei knows he's in trouble. Now spending more time thinking, and after trading 2 knights and bishops, the two exchange a few more moves before Magnus trades rooks, bringing his queen in the game, which after Sergei attacks, Magnus plays queen g6 check, winning a pawn, and then winning a rook exchange. And after a few more shuffling pieces, Magnus delivers the final blow, moving his pawn to f6, which threatens checkmate after queen g7, completely destroying Sergei's chances at beating Magnus. But after the entire game, Magnus still had nearly 2 minutes left on his clock, spending only around a minute to defeat the Super Grandmaster. But this is nothing compared to Magnus's match with Master Espen Agdestein. Magnus starts with moving his pawn to g3, which Agdestein responds to with d5, the king's fianchetto opening. After both players develop their starting pieces, Magnus strikes the center, moving his pawn to e4. A few more pieces are developed before both players castle, and a set of pawns are traded off. Magnus here plays c4, aggressively pressuring his opponent to take the pawn. Agdestein starts tapping the table impatiently with a piece. A few moves after, and Magnus brings his knights into the game, having them both lining up to Agdestein's king, about to prepare a deadly attack. After playing his pawn to h6, and Magnus bringing his queen in, Agdestein makes a grave error, taking Magnus's knight, allowing Magnus to bring his rook into the game. Magnus then lines up